Happy Independence Day. I want to talk for just a few minutes in this video about part of the Declaration of Independence, which was published 248 years ago this week. One of the opening lines in the Declaration says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Inalienable is not a word that you hear in ordinary everyday conversation, but it's an important word because basically the word inalienable means something that is fundamental and can't be stripped away. So to call something an inalienable right means it's a right that can't be taken away from you. So let's break down this whole statement. So Thomas Jefferson, the principal author, begins by saying, "We hold these truths to be self-evident," which means this is something so obvious that it shouldn't have to be argued or proven. It's apparent to everyone who's observing. It's self-evident that all people are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with inalienable rights like life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So what he's saying there is that our basic human rights that we have as human beings come to us from God. And because they come to us from God, no one other than God can justly strip us of these rights. No lesser authority. This is a mainstream historic belief as Americans, that our rights come from God, and because they come from God, no one has the authority to deprive us of these rights. This was Thomas Jefferson's main thrust in the Declaration. He was saying the King of England was depriving the colonists of their life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And he didn't have the right to do that because he didn't give the colonists their life, liberty, or the pursuit of happiness. These rights came from God, and it was unjust for a human being to take away what God had given. There was a commentator on television recently who was sounding alarms about Christian nationalism. There's this extremist philosophy that's pervading our society. And she pointed out that one of the beliefs of Christian nationalists is this belief that our basic human rights come from God, not from the government. And I was honestly a little shocked when I heard her, because there's nothing remotely extreme or remotely Christian nationalist about believing our rights come from God. This is mainstream basic American perspective of human rights. I mean, this is embedded in our Declaration, our founding document. And this is why we as Americans are so committed to making sure that people have the right to freedom, because it's a God-given right. It's a right that governments can't take away. Governments don't give us this right. The military doesn't give us this right. No human entity gives us this right. It's a right from God. The military may protect this right. The government may protect this right, but the right itself, it comes from God. I was really shocked and very disappointed in 2020 to see so many politicians, conservative and liberal alike, show the extent to which they just frankly don't believe in the concept of inalienable rights. You had governors all over the country depriving people of their liberty under the guise of preventing the spread of a virus. Churches are being shut down, businesses are being shut down, schools are being shut down. People are being placed essentially under house arrest, being told they couldn't leave their home without any kind of due process. And this was all being treated like it was somehow normal because of a virus, but it's not normal. And when we call a right inalienable, we mean it can't be taken away without due process. If it's wrong for a government to prevent you from leaving your home under normal circumstances, it's wrong for a government to prevent you from leaving your home during a health crisis. It doesn't suddenly become right just because there's a health crisis. You still have that inalienable right. You always have the right to practice your freedom of religion. Freedom of peaceably assemble, freedom of speech. All these things don't go away during times of emergency. And to believe they do go away, or to believe they can be curbed during times of emergency, is profoundly un-American. And we need to be aware of this and steadfastly refuse to support any kind of politician who is either ignorant of or willfully opposed to this basic truth that our rights come from God and they can't be taken away.